like to call the Kokomo Common Council to order. Councilwoman Sanders, could you lead us in the invocation?
All rise, or you may remain seated. I'm going to be asking Councilman Stewart, also Pastor Stewart from the Reformation Faith Ministries Church, to lead us in invocation.
You can stay right here. Is that be fine? Or you can come down there?
You can do whatever you want to do.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for so much for allowing us to come together just to work out the different dynamics that we have to work through here for the city council and just for the city in whole. We thank you for protecting everybody for coming down here. Heavenly Father, let us use wisdom and open our hearts and our minds as we take care of the people of Kokomo. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Do the pledge.
Councilman Micklick, could you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Diane, could you please take roll?
Councilman Acorn.
I'm here.
Councilman Collins.
Here.
Councilman Stewart.
Here.
Councilman Greekew.
Here.
Councilwoman Sanders.
Here.
President Rudolph.
Here.
Councilman Stewart.
Here.
Councilman Micklick.
Here.
Councilwoman McKibben. Here.
I would entertain a motion to approve of the May 11th meeting.
I second.
Support.
We have a motion.
We have a motion and a
Cindy.
second.
Cindy made the
Support.
motion. Jason seconded.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Communications. Councilman Greekew.
We have a slight change to the budget hearing schedule from what we talked about at last meeting, to keep from having a conflict with Plan Commission and to stay in line with the DLGF timetable that they set out. We'll have our hearings on August 12th and 13th, beginning both days at 4 o'clock. The budget ordinance first reading will be on August 24th. Public hearing on September 14th, and the second reading on September 28th at our regular meetings. So
August 4th, September 24 and 28.
August 12th and 13th.
So we moved to one day.
So we moved the one day, just a day, yes.
Okay.
Can you tell me the September dates again, please?
Yes, it will be the 14th and 28th.
Thank you.
Why don't we publish that with the packet when we put the packets out? I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, we can do that.
I'll have him do that.
And he did send this, I believe, to everybody, the schedule.
I don't recall seeing it, but
Okay, it would have come from Wes.
No.
Did
Unless
you?
on email? You mean an
No.
email?
It was an email from
Okay,
Wes.
I'll look I haven't seen that. I'll have to look through
did you
that.
get it, Cindy?
No, I haven't. I looked
Okay.
at it yesterday.
I'll forward
last.
it if it wasn't sent to
Yesterday
everybody. I'll
last, I
forward it
looked at
on.
my,
I don't
I
have it either.
didn't look
So
at
you
it
actually
today.
forward the email that has.
Yeah,
all
I'll
the
forward
numbers?
the email.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Are there any other communication from the council? Any communication from the public? Could we have your name and address, please?
Sheila Shoemaker, 4800 Mayfield Drive, Kokomo, Indiana. I wanted to speak to you all, and I'll make it really quick. I work with nonprofits for domestic violence, and I know that we have our local shelter here, and it's wonderful, the Bible verse that you read this morning, because he's correct. Education and wisdom is the key to take care of things. Michigan has a program that they're doing called Enough Initiative, and they're educating children on healthy relationships and boundaries. And I would like to see us institute something like that here at home in Kokomo. Children raised in those homes, the boys are 3 to 4 times more likely to be an abuser. The children, or women, girls are 3 to 4 times more likely to be a victim. And it's almost like a pyramid scheme. Domestic violence is infectious and it grows. And we put the women in a shelter and we help them get into an apartment, but we don't teach children before they get into that situation. When is a red flag? When is it a good time? When is it a bad time? What's a good relationship? What's a bad relationship? Where they started in Michigan, they saw a 25% reduction in domestic violence in the first 2 years that they started the program. And I would like to offer that information. I can send it through Jason Accord to you all. It's free. They'll do the education for free. It won't cost us anything. And it'll save children and women and men, they're victims as well. Would anybody be willing to at least read the information?
I have one comment.
Certainly.
Yeah, I have one comment.
Certainly.
Jennifer Johnson, there's non-for-profits that are working just in those things. And certainly, they would be interested in those because there's grants that they get grants for those things, of course, and people have to write them.
Yes.
But Jennifer Johnson, I don't have her number with me.
Okay.
But I guess if you would call System of Care, you could be able to, I mean, that's one avenue that I can tell you that you could get some answers.
Absolutely.
And you could find out about how to
get it started.
How to look at that, and there's other, there's lots of other things that are going on with here. Some of them with teens, some of them with, just different things. Suicide prevention, drugs. But she's the one that you need to talk to see about that.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a specific proposal on how to do this, or?
Actually, I'm following a model started by Nicole Beverly in Michigan. Her case was highly publicized on CNN, Nightline. I mean, her case was it made a lot of headlines, and what she's done since this all happened to her and her children is absolutely phenomenal.
Have you talked to anybody like Jeff Newton in Kokomo?
I have talked, actually, I just talked to Jeff Newton last week. A victim from North Carolina had to flee the state. I'm currently housing her at my house and her 2 children. So I'm trying to get Jeff, yes, he's phenomenal. I'm trying to get the young man in it. Yes, I'm trying to get the young man in it. Yes, he's phenomenal.
Absolutely the best.
Yes.
I would be interested in reading it if you have specific proposals.
Absolutely, I do. I will provide those to you. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I moved back here 5 years ago. And I've been working with nonprofits ever since.
Good. Well, I hope Jeff was helpful.
He is absolutely amazing. It's so hot and I'm nervous. But I will certainly get that to you. I would really like for you to read it. It has helped a lot of kids learn healthy boundaries.
So I think that you bring this up at a good point, because I was going over things with my daughters. I have 4 daughters myself, and some of the stuff's been coming on YouTube and videos you've been seeing. When I was growing up, guys, we just didn't hit females. But it's a total situation now where these guys are not just one guy, but multiple guys jumping young ladies and stuff like that, and then posting on social media. So I definitely believe there's some training and some attitude adjustments should be put in there. So I'm all for that. And I know there's a lot of church groups and plus the jails and different things like that.
Yes.
So I can see this going a long way.
It does. It really is. It has made a phenomenal difference in that area in Michigan, just the education of the children. I mean, you can educate people later in life, but children, what they learn, I mean, if you have a parent that cusses a lot, let's face it, the children have a tendency to use foul words. If a parent smokes, their children have more of a tendency to smoke. If you live in a house where violence is prevalent, you tend to be more violent. If you look at our streets and you see people that are using drugs and overdoses, I guarantee you the majority of those children grew up in a house where they saw nothing but discord and violence.
Right.
I mean, it is a problem that our entire community should get involved in and correct. We need to save our children's futures, and that's how you do that. And it truly is.
Thank you.
And I will get that information to you. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Forward
Thank
me
you.
the information, and I'll make sure all of these guys
Absolutely.
get it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Committee reports. Do we have any committee reports? Hearing none. Ordinance 6959. Diane, could you read that by title only?
Ordinance 6959 is the petition of HAQ Enterprises Incorporated, doing business as Banner Flower House, requesting the City Plan Commission petition and recommend to the Common Council for a change in zone classifications from an R4 urban residential to a C1 small to medium scale general commercial. It's commonly located at 1016 South Washington Street, Kokomo.
Mr. President, I move for suspension of rules and pass ordinance 6959 on first and second reading.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and pass the ordinance on both readings. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I move for passage of ordinance 6959 on second reading.
Second.
We had a motion and a second to pass it on the second reading. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Janice Quakenbush of Banner Flower is requesting a change in zone classification from R4 Urban Residential to C1 Small to Medium Scale General Commercial for property containing 0.192 acres, more or less, at 1016 South Washington Street, Kokomo, Indiana. The zone classification is to develop a new business for a commercial kitchen and storage. It will be utilized by Banner Flower, and the commercial kitchen will sell edible arrangements. Banner Flower is located at 1017 South Buckeye, and there will be parking at that business as well as parking at Banner. There will be a low volume of customers. The requested zone classification is compatible with the adjacent properties, and according to the City of Kokomo zoning ordinance, C1 is considered an appropriate adjacent district. There were no remonstrators, and I see that we have someone to come and speak about that if you want to answer any questions, if the council does. Thank you for coming tonight.
Hello,
Your name and your address.
Janice Quakenbush, Logstink. I live at 602 Sly Run Overlook, Noblesville, Indiana.
Well, does anybody have any questions for Mrs. Quakenbush on her venture? Sounds like a good one.
Do they have chocolate-covered strawberries?
We will.
Whoa.
You got my heart.
Okay, well, thank you. If there's no more questions, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, and we'll get the next, so we're cool. All right.
We're ready for the next one.
Uh-huh.
And Diane, could you read ordinance
Gotta
6960?
vote on that. We gotta vote on that.
Can we vote on this one?
We already did.
We already
We
did
just did it backwards. It's
We did
okay.
it. We did
We
it.
already voted. We already
Okay,
voted on
okay.
it.
Oh,
We'll
I'm
vote
sorry.
back. We'll get it.
Okay.
We'll get this one rolling a little better, but we
That's right.
did actually vote on it before they
Okay.
spoke.
I'm looking at Cindy.
That's so good.
Would you read
We're good.
ordinance 6960, and we'll get this one right, Tom, how about that?
We'll try.
Ordinance 6960 is the petition of EPE Holdings LLC requesting the City Plan Commission petition and recommend to the Kokomo Common Council for a change in zone classifications from an R4 urban residential to a C1, which is a small to medium scale general commercial for property described as Deppenbaugh's First Edition, Lot 1. It is located at 1039 South Home Avenue in Kokomo, Indiana.
Mr. President, I move for suspension of rules and pass ordinance 6960 on first and second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and pass the ordinance on both readings. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I move for passage of ordinance 6960 on second reading.
Second.
Okay, it's back to you now. Explain it to us, Cindy. Then we'll vote on it, as
Yeah,
we should have the
okay.
first time.
Kate Rice, on behalf of Eric Pluckbaum, is requesting a change in zone classification from R4 Urban Residential to C1 Small to Medium Scale General Commercial at 1039 South Home Avenue, containing 0.18 acres, more or less. This will be utilized as a warehouse and is an expansion of Mr. Pluckbaum's fabrication shop, which makes conveyor systems for auto and paint shops, and I'm not sure what else, but it's a conveyor. They make it's conveyor systems used at different factories, probably here in Kokomo and elsewhere in other communities, which is good. According to the city Kokomo zoning ordinance, C1 small to medium scale general commercial is considered an appropriate adjacent district within 3 of the 4 areas specified. According to Mr. Sheeline, L1 and C1 should be compatible with light industrial, and the ordinance will need to be changed. Mr. Sheeline, if you want to come and speak on that at all, it's fine. I mean, you can kind of explain it a little bit more than I can. Thank you.
Greg Sheeline, Director of the Kokomo Howard County Plan Commission. Actually, you did a very good job of explaining it. We have appropriate zoning districts, and C1 should be an appropriate zoning district with an LI, which is a light industrial We found that during this case. It's a mistake in our zoning ordinance. They should be compatible. We have C1 and LI districts sitting next to each other all over the city. We are in the process of changing the zoning district in certain areas, so we will change that, and that will be brought to the city council for all your approvals. But we will change that, but we did find that mistake. So normally when we rezone a property, we like all the districts to be compatible, but in this case, only 3 of the 4, but it was because of our zoning ordinance being in error, not the petitioner.
Is there anyone here to speak to this ordinance? I thought Mr. Pluckabaum might be here, but it sounds really interesting. He's apparently has bought another lot, and he wants to pave it, but there's some buildings he has to tear down, and his hope is that he paves that, he can use that, and possibly expand the business so that he can expand the business.
And this is an older abandoned home he's going to demolish and put up a new building, so it'll be more aesthetically pleasing for that area as well. So,
Are there any other questions from the council or the public? We have a motion. I would entertain a motion to pass this ordinance on the second reading.
We got that.
We have a
got
motion
it?
and a
Okay.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Diane, would you read ordinance 6961 by title only?
Ordinance 6961 is the petition of Virginia McQuarrie requesting the City Plan Commission petition and recommend to the Kokomo Common Council for a change in zone classifications from a C1, which is a small to medium scale general commercial, to a C2, which is a medium to light scale general commercial for the property described in the city of Kokomo in Harrison Township. It's actually 3845 South of Fountain Street, Kokomo.
Mr. President, I move for suspension of the rules and pass ordinance 6961 on first and second reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Cindy?
I move for passage of ordinance 6961 on second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Tom?
Before we vote, please explain it to us.
Yes, I'm trying to. Tom Harold, on behalf of Virginia McQuarrie, is requesting a zone change from C1, small to medium general commercial, to C2, medium to large scale general commercial for property containing 0.55 acres, more or less, located at 3845 South LaFountain Street, Kokomo, Indiana. This is on the northwest corner of Alto and LaFountain Street, and it will be used for a car lot. For the past 14 years, it was a site of Avis Rental Car, and prior to that, for 1 year, it was a car lot. Basically, it was not zoned properly 15 years ago for the car lot as a C2, and the new owners are coming forward to have it properly zoned. And according to the Kokomo zoning ordinance, C2, medium to large scale general commercial, is considered an appropriate adjacent district within the area specified. Come on up,
And
Mr.
it'll be used for a car lot?
I'm good.
Tom Harold, 2401 South, well, 2401 Apple Tree Lane. But yes, the property has been used in the past 14 years for Avis car rental. They came out of it and suited for a car use, but the old zoning satisfied the car rental, but the new zoning satisfies car sales. It's 0.55 an acre, has a small office building on it, and there's also a detached garage used for cleanup of vehicles. Signage is already there. It's just just north of Lowe's.
Cool. Thanks. It's nothing that should look any different than we've seen for the last 15 years there.
No.
It's empty right now, though.
Pardon?
The spot's empty with nothing's on the lot right now.
Correct.
Crazy Joe sign.
Are there any other questions from the council or the public?
Thanks, John.
We have a motion to pass the ordinance on the second reading. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. There's no further business. Our next meeting will be on June the 8th, 2020, so please be here then.
Try to.
Adjourned.